Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liang, homage to Master Sakya Tsankong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dukden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, the transforming Golden Mother, the Great Venerable. Sumo, Tanchen Katsu, Dukden Siddhi, Dukden Karma. All Dhamma masters, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma teaching assistants, temple and center directors, and all disciples present here. Good afternoon.可能要帮我请点请是谁？我需要我需要马上。
冇 WiFi。
I would like to announce. Which one? I would like to announce for next Sunday, June 1st. Wow, half a year has passed. At 3 p.m. at the Rainbow Temple, there would be Mahotara Heruka Homa fire offering ceremony. This deity is the greatest protector of Tantric Buddhism. The mudra. 他们说没有吗？没有，他们也没有吗？
他们都没有 ，WiFi 都没有。
And the mantra. That's Mahotara Heruka, that's the mantra. So this deity has been transmitted at the Freedom Square, the old CKS hall. 5 minutes. By chanting his mantra for 5 minutes, we cured many people's diseases and produced many miracles. So this is a really great Vajra deity. That's next Sunday. And we will be chanting the Mahotara Heruka mantra for 5 minutes. And there would be many miracles. At the Freedom Square, there were many miracles for several of our Mahotara Herukas. And the 5-minute mantra chanting has eradicated many people's illnesses After performing this deity, then all of our illnesses will be eradicated, as well as grandmasters too will be free. Today we perform the Transforming Golden Mother, and she's incredible. So she can transform into many, just like Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. All kinds of emanation bodies, many physical bodies too, extremely numerous. And the Transforming Golden Mother altar at the center is the yellow Golden Mother. To the east is the blue Golden Mother. To the east is the golden Mother. And to the north is the black Golden Mother. To the south is the red Golden Mother. So the altar is divided into 5 directions: the center, north, south, east, and west. So she transformed 5 Golden Mothers. Each has its own function. The black one is considered for subjugation. And the yellow one at the center is for enrichment. The red one in the south is for magnetizing, love and respect. And the golden color in the west is for wish fulfilling. And the blue in the east is for subjugation and curing illnesses. So there are also many other transformations. So in my life, I follow Golden Mother for over 50 years. And it's ever changing too. When I just got out, I lived in an illegal house that's built illegally on top of a ditch. And we lived there. And now, after so many years, now I live in the South Mountain Retreat. And there are about 2 acres at the property. And the house is also valuable. It's considered a mansion, right? Luxurious home. So from the illegally built home to now to the luxurious mansion. But Simu and I have bequeathed and given that mansion into to Buddha Foundation. And the Rainbow Villa was built by us. And Master Lien Si helped us manage the workers, but we were the one who supported, who paid for it. So this is considered luxurious property, right? And we don't live here, so we let True Buddha School use it. And the same with the True Buddha Tantric orders that would be given to True Buddha School. And they will realize the same. It's for used by True Buddha School, the same with South Mountain Retreat. So that's what's the last, what I would leave lastly is just the Twin Lotus Columbarium box. That's human life. From non-existence to existence, and then from existence back to non-existence. No big deal. Because we know, spiritual cultivators know that there is nothing to gain. It's mentioned in the Heart Sutra very clearly. Due to the understanding of unattainability, one is the Bodhisattva. And that's the same. You generate the mind that is non-dwelling on anything, that there is nothing that you can own or gain. In the Saha world, there is nothing that you can get. Now, what we gain is the true understanding of the mind and seeing the nature, the Buddha nature. What is left is the wondrous, luminous, true mind. All Buddhist practitioners would know that everything in the world is unattainable. Transforming Golden Mother delivers sentient beings. I follow Golden Mother for 50 years. Everything is due to Golden Mother. Golden Mother's guidance in my whole life.
transmit 有点那个我隔壁的那个 VIP， 它有
So
一个
they
电
are
池
the
的。
five elders in Taoism as well. At the center, belonging to the earth element, that's the Tang Lao or the yellow elder. In the north, belonging to the water element, that's the water virtue. The south, fire virtue. And the east, the wood element, that's the Donghua Dijun. And then the west is metal or gold, that's Golden Mother. And as for Golden Mother, there is transforming Golden Mother that transforms into 5 colors, 5 different colors. Radiating light, the golden light, is wish fulfilling. The wood color is to subdue evil people. And the water color to break the bad lucks. The fire color, light, is to attract magnetism and love respect. And the earth color is for wealth. The red color light is to attract favorable people. And then the yellow light is for wealth. And yellow color for winning prizes. And the blue or black light is to subdue your enemies. That's the great Dharma of transforming Golden Mother. 5 different colors. And her mudra is half open lotus. The mantra. Om Peja Jimu Mulati Soha. Let me tell some jokes. The doctor was getting ready to perform a surgery on a man, and the man was anxious and looked at the doctor, and all of a sudden the man rolled under the bed, and cried out, "Someone, please come." And the nurse came and asked, "What happened?" "Please change a doctor right away." And the nurse asked, "Why?" And the man said, "Yeah, because I was the one who gave him the medical school diploma." Dad told Xiaoming, "Call your second uncle, ask him to come for a drink." And Xiaoming replied, "He cannot come because his wife said he's doing laundry." And Dad said, "He's so useless, embarrassment to men. Had it been me." And then Xiaoming's mom came out, bringing cooking utensils. "What are you saying? If it had been me, I would have finished the laundry long ago." That year, Xiaoming was on the junior high school. There was a class teacher that's really beautiful, and Xiaoming just really loved her. This is the first time he saw her. So the next day, went to the teacher's dorm, trying to honest to tell her that he likes her. And then he couldn't think of a way, but then took a brick and wrote, "I love you 10,000 years," and then threw it. And then turned around and left. The next morning, they had a school meeting, and then the head of the principal was wrapped in a bandage. And made an announcement to fire the security guard at the door. Because the name was sounding like the 10,000 years. That's so funny. Why at wedding banquets there are always lobsters? Do you know why? Because it's very tasty. Or is it because it's expensive? Actually, none of those. Because that's just implying that the newlywed how to maintain their marriage. But there's a homophone in Chinese. One should pretend to be deaf and the other one pretending to be blind. After marriage, you should pretend to be deaf and blind. That's why you have to eat lobster, which in Chinese sounds like blind and deaf. A couple is celebrating a 20-year anniversary, and the husband is full with tears and look very emotional, and the wife is very touched. You're full of feelings. I'm very touched. And the husband said, "But honey, do you remember that night 20 years ago? We were in the storage and that was caught by your dad, was discovered by your dad." And the wife said, "Of course, it's unforgettable." And then the husband said, "Your dad threatened me if I don't marry you, that he would sue me to send me to jail for 20 years. And the wife said, "Oh." And the husband was thinking, I was thinking, if I chose back then, if back then I chose to be in jail for 20 years, today I would have been free. Now we'll do Q&A. Question from Taiwan. Lianhua Menghua again. Will wholehearted reference. I pay homage to Surangama Master. Recently, I discovered since practicing the treasure-based energy yoga during meditations, using Vairocana 7-point posture, but the only time I don't do full lotus position, I feel Dharma joy and emptiness in my body. With focused visualization of enter me, I enter, both body and mind disappeared. And then in one group practice, I silently prayed for the yidam to enter the central channel, and instantly it's poured into my body. One, I would like to ask my master, if the central channel all along the spine is straight, then that allowed the yidam to smoothly enter and unify with me. But you can already be in union with your yidam. Why are you asking me if the spine has to be straight or not? That's a contradiction. Generally speaking, every time when we meditate, we should not slouch. We should sit up straight. Just like a soldier. And double lotus position, the body, the torso should be straight. And then to invoke the yidam to enter into your body, that's for sure. We have to do that in the visualization of oneness. I enter and enter me. Whether I exit and enter into the heart of the yidam, or the light of the yidam entering into your body, and you transform into the yidam. That's called the Buddha's So at that time you become the Buddha, and the Buddha is you. So that is called the appearance of the Buddha. So otherwise the central channel is crooked and it would be difficult to enter. So I cannot just hold my ear, and then otherwise my sister Shujin would keep observing and know which part of my body is itching. And she would say that I'm itching, but this is just a habit. So a central channel dwelling energy that is cultivated from the treasure vase energy help achieve a better meditative stability, of course. When you hold the breath with no incoming or outgoing breath, that's treasure vase energy yoga. That's called holding the qi, or the breath, with no incoming or outgoing qi. Then it would be easier to enter meditation. Because when the qi moves, the mind moves. When the qi is still, the mind is also still. So in the beginning, you practice the breathing, but eventually, when you don't feel the incoming or outgoing qi, that's the breath counting, the method through breath counting to enter meditation. When you don't feel the qi or the breath is coming in or going out, and when you reach the most subtle, the finest kind of breathing, then the qi is slow and long and fine. So the qi is fine, slow, and long. Then you can enter into meditation. If your breathing or qi is coarse and short, and fast, then it will not be easy to enter meditation. The finer, the slower, and the longer the breathing is, until you feel like there is no breathing, then that would be easier to enter meditation. Because when the qi moves, the mind moves. When the qi stays, the mind stays. That's one fifth instruction in spiritual cultivation. You train your breathing to breathe finely, slowly, and long. Coming in, going out, coming in, going out. So you count as it's coming in, out 2, coming in again 3, out 4, and 5, 6, gradually until you don't feel the breathing anymore, and then you enter samadhi. That's the breath counting method, and it requires full breathing. You need to visualize the breath reaches all the dantians, the upper, middle, and lower dantian, not just to the throat or the lungs. The central channel has to be straight. That's the answer to Lotus Meng Hua from Taiwan. Yesterday, we talked about Sakyamuni Buddha that a human has changes, that year by year, month by month, day by day, we age, and hour by hour, we also age. Every minute, every second, there are thoughts arising and ceasing. Actually, it is all ever changing. So anything that's changing is considered the guest, and things that don't change is considered the host or the master. And Sakyamuni Buddha used many examples to describe, like say the host of an inn, he stays at the inn, he does not move. That's the master, the host. But the guests come to the inn for one and stay for one night, and then the next day would leave. They are considered the guests. So the host is the wondrous, luminous, true mind, and the guests are traveling constantly. They are moving. So the host is still, and those who are moving are considered the guests. So Sakyamuni Buddha used that as an analogy. And he also used analogy that your body from childhood until old age, that's moving, changing, that means moving. And Sakyamuni Buddha said, but the water of the Ganges River that you saw when you were 3 and when you were 62, are they the same? Yes, the same. They have not changed. So the water of the Ganges River represents the host, but your body is ever changing, and that is representing the guest. So he used several analogies. And I'm touching my ear again. It's my habit to pull my earlobe so that it grows longer. That in the future I would become Maitreya Bodhisattva with long ears. My ears too have changed. When I was young, my ears were tiny, so tiny, like the ears of a mouse. And as I grow old, and by pulling them, they grow longer. And in the future, the 2 lobes would touch the shoulders. Now let's discuss the Surangama Sutra. Ananda then rose from his seat, bowed to the Buddha with palms joined, knelt down on both knees and said, Lord Honored One, if the seeing and hearing truly is non-arising and non-ceasing, then why does the World Honored One say that beings like us have lost our true nature and behave in an inverted way? I pray that your great compassion will cleanse me of my defilements. So Ananda, hearing Sakyamuni Buddha talk about the water of the Ganges River, that the seeing nature is non-arising and non-ceasing, that the water that was seen at 3 and at 62 stayed the same. So that's the non-ceasing of the seeing nature. So what you see does not change. That's the wondrous, luminous, true mind. And upon hearing that, he had questions. He had so many questions. So he rose, bowed, joined his palms, knelt down, and said, Sakyamuni Buddha, my seeing nature is not rising and not ceasing. But why, Sakyamuni Buddha, you said that we humans have lost our true nature and act in an inverted way. So please cleanse me of my defilements. Please clarify. Please, with compassion, you can cleanse all the defilements from my heart mind. Because you say we act in an inverted way. Because Sakyamuni Buddha was talking about the seeing nature of King Prasanajit that's non-arising and non-ceasing. So it should be the same with us, right? Non-arising and non-ceasing. But why did you say we act in an inverted way? So immediately the Tathagata lowered his golden arm with the wheel mark fingers pointing downward and asked, do you see my mudra hand? Is it upward or inverted? So let's just say like this. Do you see my hand that's forming a mudra? Is it upright or inverted? And Ananda said, all the worldly beings would say it's inverted or upturned. But as for me, I don't know. So all sentient beings would know that it is upturned. But I don't know what is upright and what is upturned. So the Buddha told Ananda, if the people of the world take this as inverted, then what would they consider as upright? So if they say this is inverted, then what is upright? And Ananda replied, when the Tathagata raises his arm and points upward to the sky with his soft cotton-like hand, that is called upright. So if you move your inverted hand upward, then that would be upright, and this one is inverted. So Ananda said, if it's pointing upward, that's upright, and if it's pointing downward, that's upturned. So soft cotton-like hand. Sakyamuni Buddha's hand is so soft, like a kind of very fine cotton, fine soft cotton, to indicate that his hand is very soft. And he formed a mudra with his hand. So if you point to the sky, that's upright. If you point downward, that's inverted or upturned. Then Sakyamuni Buddha raised his arm and pointing upward and told Ananda, if this inversion where top and bottom are switched, causes all worldly people to look again. Then carefully observe your body and the bodies of all the Buddhas, which are pure and radiant Dharma bodies. The body of the Tathagatas is perfect and all-knowing, while your body is inverted in nature. Now closely examine your body and the Buddha's body. Where exactly can the name inverted be applied, and what part should be labeled inversion? That's a very lengthy wording. Simply explain. Everybody thinks that's upright. This is up. This is downward. This is inverted. This is upright. And then Sakyamuni Buddha said, let's just use this as an analogy, as a comparison. Sakyamuni Buddha's body is the pure Dharma body. There is no such things as inversion, as being inverted or upturned. There is no such things as upright and inverted. And Sakyamuni Buddha is the correct, omnipresent, and Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, enlightened. And sentient beings are deluded. And deluded at what? At that this is pointing like this is upright, pointing like this is inverted. And those are completely irrelevant to the wondrous, luminous, true mind of the Tathagata. You're just being deluded or worrying about that this is upright and this is downward. That's why Sakyamuni Buddha said that all of you humans are all inverted or upside down. Sakyamuni Buddha's body is the Tathagata Dharma body. There is no such thing as inversion. That's omnipresent. But sentient beings are led by what they see, deluded by the sight. And then, because of the delusion, they act in an inverted way. Simply, let me give you an example. The Vimalakirti, great master, can go to the gambling parlor. Why? Because he went to the gambling parlor to deliver sentient beings, not to gamble. Because he's enlightened. He's the enlightened one. He can go anywhere. He can go to the casino. He can go to the brothel, to the prostitution house. It's not that he is attracted by the prostitutes, but to salvage or deliver the deluded sentient beings. That's why he could go there. He could have a business and career, but not deluded by wealth. Then of course he can. He earned a lot of money. So wealth, sex, sensual pleasure, and fame cannot touch him at all, cannot delude him. He can go to all realms in the 10 directions. But beginner bodhisattvas, those who started their spiritual cultivation, don't have enough meditative stability. They cannot do those, because once you do those, you become deluded, become obsessed by them, and then you become inverted. Sakyamuni Buddha said, there's a book called The Finger Pointing at the Moon. So, teaching you to look at the moon, not to look at the finger. But the deluded sentient beings are paying attention to the finger. But I'm teaching you to look at the moon. to look at the wondrous, luminous, true mind, not asking you to look at my finger, whether this is pointing upward or downward. There is a Zen Buddhist that's called pointing to the finger. Pointing to the moon. Pointing to the moon. To ask you to look at the wondrous, luminous, true mind, not to the finger. That's why people in the world are all upside down, topsy-turvy. But the true bodies of the Tathagatas are not upside down. That's the primary meaning here. That the Tathagata is the omnipresent, omniscient, perfect and all-knowing. That's Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, the right equality and right realization. They are omniscient. They know everything. Perfect and all-knowing. They know about everything. That's enlightened. That's enlightenment. Once anyone that has gained enlightenment can go anywhere. They have enough meditative stability. Like the great master Vimalakirti, he can go anywhere. If you don't have enough meditative stability, then you have to abide by the precepts. That's why the Vimalakirti Sutra, it mentioned that wealth, sex, and fame, anger, lust, and ignorance, and delusion, they are all Buddha Dharma. Because if you're not deluded by them, you're enlightened. You will not be deluded by them. But if you're still deluded, then you have to abide by the precepts. If you still have any delusion, you have to abide by the precepts. That's all. So the spiritual cultivation of arhats, generally they don't deliver sentient beings, but they abide by the precepts, like Mahakashyapa. His mouth did not take. He also abided by the precepts in his diet. He ate the lowest kind of food. He does not strive for taste. What is tasty, what is not tasty. That's not in his book. He eats anything that's the worst kind, and before taking it, he even visualized it is poo. So he ate poo. He drank pee. Yeah. That's Cantonese. So he truly abided by the precepts. So he took the food to be poop and the drinks to be pee. So he did not strive for the sight, smell, taste, and touch. He did not touch any money because he abided by the precepts not to be greedy toward money. So when you see a woman, then you should not see her face or her eyes. You have to look down, because as soon as you see the eyes, you would be electrified and numb all over your body. And then at night, you start having hallucination, and then you're starting to have lust. So those who abide by the precepts are arhats. They don't look at women, they look at the ground. When they speak to a woman, it's never over 5 sentences. They only speak 3 or 4, or just a few words, 3 or 4 sentences, just a few words. just saying the key points and nothing else. They always look down to the ground and not allowed to look at her eyes or her body. That's abidance by the precepts and have attainment through this. If you have attainment through this practice, you're an arhat. An arhat has to abide by the precepts. But Mahayana monks, because you have some realizations, you're not deluded, then you can. If you're still deluded, then you are not qualified to practice Mahayana Dharma. So, so-called everything is just in between delusion and enlightenment. Are you still under delusion or are you already enlightened? You need to be clear about it yourself. If you still have delusion and have not seen your own wondrous, luminous, true mind, but if you're immovable, you can go anywhere and you can do anything. That's enlightened. But if you're still under delusion, you have to abide by the precepts. That's the simple analogy. That's what this part is talking about. So Sakyamuni Buddha uses this analogy. Look at my hand. This is upright and this is inverted. And everybody believed that. But actually, the wondrous, luminous, true mind is immovable. There is no such thing as being upright or upturned. But sentient beings are all upside down. That's why they're all just guests. Only those that are unmoved are called the hosts. If your heart is unmoved, you can go anywhere. But if your mind and heart is or are moved, then you're deluded. So Sakyamuni Buddha already talked about it very clearly. The host of the inn does not move, but the guests, the travelers, only stay for the night and then the next day they leave. So you need to be clear who's the host, who's the guest, and what is delusion, what is enlightenment. So the koan or the teaching of pointing to the moon is not asking you to look at the finger, but to look at the moon. So the Buddha raised his arm and said, if this inversion where the top and bottom are switched causes all worldly people to look again, then carefully observe your body and the bodies of the Buddhas, which are pure and radiant Dharma bodies. The body of the Tathagatas is called perfect and all-knowing, while your body is inverted in nature. Although your body is the same as the body of the Buddha, but yours is inverted and the Buddha's is enlightened. That's the Tathagata Dharma body. The wondrous, radiant, true mind is the host and upright. So everything we see by all sentient beings in the Saha will see are all inverted. They are deluded by everything in the world. That's why they are inverted, upside down. You know, even even the appearance you cannot maintain. And wealth or money, doesn't matter how much you earn, your two hands are empty. And the appearance will age, and fame, what use is that for you? The fame is also fake. Look at those who become presidents. If Xiaoming is not obedient, we would ask him to become a Korean president, and then he would know how unfortunate that is, because almost all Korean presidents are either imprisoned or committed suicide. The Park was assassinated, and then his daughter was in prison, was jailed, and now coming out, and that's about, it's lost her mind. Now lost the mind. When you're young, you were very energetic, and there were two with the family named Lu Wuxian, Lu Tai. I think one of them was imprisoned, the other one killed themselves by jumping into the ocean. They were both presidents. They were all presidents. So if you're not good, we'll send you to Korea to be president there. They're also pitiful. Really. Only the unfortunate ones become presidents there. It's better just to be a commoner, to live your lives peacefully and stably. All sentient beings are upside down. So Sakyamuni Buddha is enlightened. Vimalakirti, which is the Jinli Tathagata, is also enlightened. He could go anywhere with great self-mastery and freedom. And the world, sensual pleasures and fame come and go. So what is inversion and what is upright? Sakyamuni Buddha used this analogy. And this is upright and this is upside down. He used his finger. But you're inverted, so that's not the case anymore. And then the next piece you can read on your own. What I just talked about is to explain that. So at that time, Ananda and the assembly stared at the Buddha. So stared blankly at the Buddha. Confused and unaware of the inverted state of body and mind. And the Buddha, moved by compassion, compassionate toward Ananda and all the people, like a voice like the ocean tide, so that everybody can hear. He said, "Oh, good man, I often see everything that your eyes see, what you hear, what they're all inverted. You're deluded by all the images outside you." So that's the mind due to the causes and condition. Then you generate discernment. So they're all created by your mind. So everything under the earth, under the heaven, is created by the mind. Your body and mind actually appeared from the wondrous, luminous, true mind. But why did you lose this wondrous, luminous, true mind and mistake this inner clarity and mistake the illusion for the reality? Like you think you're enlightened, but actually you're not. You're still deluded. And you take murkiness for emptiness, darkness for form, and conceptual illusions for the self. So your body is made up from the four elements, the earth, water, fire, and wind. So all kinds of sights and external phenomena that form your body. But you're ever moving, you're never still. And you think all the external phenomena, the shadows of illusion, so you see the external images and all the actions and all chaotic, and you mistake them to be the nature of your mind, to be the mind. So the mind has been deluded, and you firmly believe that it resides within the physical body. You think that the body is real. You're unaware that this physical body and everything outside, the mountains, rivers, space, and the earth, are nothing but appearances within the wondrous, luminous, true mind. So you throw away all the ocean and you're just a bubble, and yet you believe that the bubble is the great ocean. So you think the bubble is real, that it's the same as the great ocean. So in this way, you are deluded. So that's no difference as my finger pointing up or down, inverted. So everybody is upside down, being deluded by images, external images, by your own, and you don't recognize the wondrous, luminous, true mind. So this is talking about delusion versus enlightenment. So once you're enlightened, your heart mind is unmoved, is immovable. So if you're enlightened, the rocks at my home are gold. And gold is also rocks. So once you're enlightened, that's the case. But before enlightened, gold is gold, and the stone is a stone. Then you would love gold and throw away the rock. That's the difference. Once you're enlightened, you would find everything not matter. Nothing doesn't matter. That's the book that I wrote before, the philosophy of I don't care. Everything is the best arrangement. Don't you think so? What use is gaining something? And then if you lose it, so what? You don't have the mindset for gaining or losing. Or gaining and losing doesn't matter to you. So as a sadhaka, spiritual cultivator, you need to understand. The drinker, if you are obsessed with the drink, the alcohol, then you would become a drunkard, and then whatever you do is upside down. But if you drink and you're very clear and you're not confused or deluded by it, then it's okay for you to drink. But after drinking, you're upside down. And you're not upside down if you don't drink, then it's still best for you not to drink. Some people can drink because they would never be controlled by the alcohol. That's why it's fine for them. But if you're controlled by the alcohol, then you cannot drink. So one is delusion, one is enlightenment. So the lay Buddhist Vimalakirti can go to the brothel, go to the gambling parlor, he can go to anywhere to deliver sentient beings. That's to deliver sentient beings. Those sentient beings are amidst delusion. As they still differentiate which ones are spiritual centers and which ones are not. There was a great master asked, "Where are you from?" "I'm from a spiritual center." And Vimalakirti said, "Where is there a place that's not spiritual center?" Straight mind is the spiritual center. Everywhere is a spiritual center. What is Buddha Dharma? Everything is Buddha Dharma. The enlightened one would know everything is Buddha Dharma. Wealth, sex, fame, rage, lust, delusion are all Buddha Dharma. That's for the enlightened one. But before enlightenment, they differentiate those. So a truly wealthy person is the one who owns the whole sky, the whole cosmic space. That would be the true wealthy person. If you study Buddhism, then you would own the whole cosmic space. If you are amidst enlightenment, then you own everything. But if you are deluded, the so-called wealth is just rocks and stones. So some people just keep running after money, continuing running and running. But at the end, it's all empty. So people invest or play the stocks. But I, Sung Yen Lu, never invest. The US dollar has come down and Taiwan dollar rises. Should I change? Someone asked me, do you want to convert your Taiwan dollar into US dollar? I said, no, you don't need to touch anything. It doesn't matter whether the exchange is going up or down. As long as it's enough for this life, it's good enough. It doesn't matter what exchange rate is moving up or down. So what use if there's more? I still eat 3 times a day and sleep on the same bed. I cannot sleep on 2 beds, right? Because I have more money. No. How can you sleep on 2 beds, right? You just sleep on 1 bed and you still eat the same kinds of food. You can eat all the delicious seafood, and because the doctors told me you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you can't eat that. What should I eat then? I've lived to be 81. I cannot eat seafood. I was warned, you can't touch seafood. Then you will itch if you eat them. Now you can't eat meat. No beef, lamb, no meat, whatever meat. I just can eat the cheap pork. So can't eat meat anymore. Can't eat beans because you have gout. Can't touch beans. So seafood, meat, beans. And I don't drink milk because of the lactose intolerance for most Asians. I don't drink milk. So no dairy. So no dairy. So all that's left is egg. So chicken egg, duck egg, geese egg, bird egg. That's it. All I can eat is dumb eggs. Life is so meaningless. And the Chinese doctor said, oh, and then you cannot eat that and that and that and that. So now, whenever he turns or leaves, then I eat. Then I'll eat a little bit of it. And people say, it's okay just to eat a little bit of this and that. And then someone said, but altogether it becomes a lot. At old age, that's very beautiful. Old age is beautiful. You cannot eat everything. I had blood tests and they said I had high potassium. The range was up to 5.1, 3 point something to 5.1. That range is normal, and my potassium is 5.6 or 5.7. Just over 0.6. What is potassium anyway? So many green leaves and fruits have potassium, and I cannot touch those, so what should I eat then? Everything has potassium. Some are higher, some are lower. And they say that I have too high potassium. It makes me upset. Oh. The man asked God, why the girls are always sweet and cute and beautiful, but the wife is always very, very fierce but I created girls and you are the one that changed them into wives, so that's your problem. 40 kilos is attractively slimy. At 50 kilos, that's voluptuous. At 60 kilos, that's sexy and voluptuous. And then lovely at 70. And 90 kilos, that's safety. And 100 kilos, that's called courage. A reporter interviewed an exemplar old-age couple, elderly couple, and grandpa, you're over 80. I'm a grandpa too. And you still call your wife honey. How can you do that? And the grandpa said, hey, don't mention it. A few years ago, all of a sudden, I lost my memory and forgot what her name was. And I didn't dare to ask, so I'll just call her honey. Because he's forgotten her name. The teacher asked Xiaoming, in the journey to the West, who's the most incredible? And Xiaoming said, the Monkey King, because he could change into 72 forms. And Xiaohua said, no, it's Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Because she could chant the bounding mantra. Xiao Chang said, no, it's the Tathagata. Because with the palm, it could imprison the Monkey King for 500 years underneath the mountain. And the teacher asked Xiaoming, now do you know who's the most incredible? And Xiaoming said, I think those students are nothing. I think must be the father of Monkey King. Because he could impregnate the rock. Because Monkey King was transformed from the rock. That's funny. ASP, didn't you go on a date, the marriage dating last night? Did it happen? And he said, nah, probably. No chance, I said the wrong thing. And he said, what did you say? And he said, I was going to praise that she's like a Barbie doll. And then, huh? Oh, and then I said she was like a doll, like the air doll. How do you call that? So it's like a, what's it called? You know, the doll with the air. So the most unfortunate man is that accompanying the wife to the grocery, we met the lover, and when the lover, going out with the lover, met the sister of the wife, and then kissing that sister of the wife was discovered by the father, and then having a date with the online friend, and that was the wife. And standing under the tall building, I felt really cold in the heart. And the face, that's the salty water, whether that's rainwater or tears. And then I look up, and some whose underwear was that, dripping wet. That's really bad luck. A couple is getting divorced and fighting for the child's custody at the court. The wife said, the child came from my abdomen, so of course it's mine. And the husband said, nonsense. So money coming out from ATM belongs to the ATM. So it belongs to those who stick in the cart. And the judge fainted, and the lawyers also admired. But if the child is fake money, do you still want it?เอามานี่เป็นห้อง